nation. Hebrew kingdom building.
All right, so this Torah portion is interesting, very interesting. What we're going to talk about today is submission. What we're going to talk about today is submission. We got into it on the prep day call, and we're going to go into it deeper with y'all. So that's what we're going to get into. Submission. So submission is really big. This was pretty much one of the biggest attributes of the leaders of Yahuwah was that they mastered submission. That was one of the biggest, most significant attributes of all the most notable leaders of Yahuwah. Okay? All right, let's start at Numbers chapter 12. Numbers chapter 12, verse 3.
Numbers chapter 12.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Okay, everybody there? Nope. Okay, I'll wait. Hallelujah. All right. Now the man Moshe was very humble.
Was very what?
Humble.
Keep going.
More than all men who are on the face of the earth.
Let's read it again.
Now the man Moshe was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth.
All right. So what this is really saying is that Moshe was very submitted, more than all the people on the face of the earth. The Hebrew word for humble, anah, or anah, is almost synonymous with being submitted, mishpachah. The biblical aspect of, because do y'all know the Torah don't have no scripture that say you need, wives submit to your husbands or nothing like that. The scriptures don't have, the Torah doesn't have any verses that say that, or the Tanakh. The Brit Hadashah says that all throughout it, and when it's because of the that's the theme throughout the Torah is submission, and you see that in the examples throughout the Torah. That's why, and when you see it in the Brit Hadashah, they'll mention in the Torah, like 1 Peter 3, they talk about, they say, wives, be submitted to your husbands. And it talks about like Sarah. Sarah called her husband, Abraham, Lord. You saw the examples in the Torah. This is the way that you study Torah, not just what's specifically commanded, but also duplicating through the examples. That's another way to study Torah, is to see how Yahuwah's people moved, how they respond to things, and how they acted, the men and women. That's the deeper layer. That's how for real. That's how the apostles studied Torah. That's why they knew, hey, wives are supposed to submit to their husband. That's why Paul was talking about wives submit to your husbands. That's why Kepha was saying the same thing, because they got those revelations from Torah. That makes sense? Okay, go to 1 Peter 3. We're still gonna go there though. 1 Peter 3. Start with verse 1. Everybody there?
Wives.
Kiefer Rashon. Some of y'all don't know the English because y'all too deep in this truth. So I'll say Kiefer Rashon. Kiefer Rashon, chapter 3.
Wives, likewise, be submissive to your own husbands, that even if some do not obey the word, they, without a word, may be won by the conduct of their wives, when they observe your chaste conduct.
When they observe your what?
Chaste conduct.
That word chaste actually means like pure. That means like pure. Remember we were talking about that in Hanukkah, being pure in heart, being pure in your intentions, that they may be able to see the chaste conduct. Keep going.
When they observe your chaste conduct accompanied by fear, do not let your adornment be merely outward, arranging the hair, wearing gold, or putting on fine apparel. Rather, let it be the hidden person of the heart, with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which is very precious in the sight of Elohim.
The incorruptible beauty of a what?
Gentle and quiet spirit.
All right, keep going.
For in this manner, in former times, the Kodesh women who trusted in Elohim also adorned themselves, being submissive to their own husbands.
Being what?
Submissive to their own husbands.
Keep going.
As Sarah obeyed Abraham.
You see how the Kiefer is quoting Torah to show how the Kodesh women were submissive to their husbands. As Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him what?
Master.
Calling him what? Adoni. Do y'all know that Adoni is a term for a bridegroom, for a husband? That's why Sarah called her husband Lord, Adoni. Do y'all know that's why we call Yahusha Adoni, because he's the bridegroom, Mishpaka? But a lot of y'all, just the thought of calling y'all husband Adoni, it's like something clicks in you like, ugh, no, I can't say that. Ugh. Something just hits in you. Keep going.
Verse 6, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Adoni, whose daughters you are, if you do food and are not afraid with any terror.
All praise to the Most High. Abraham, y'all just got to look at the examples in Torah. That's the way, another layer of studying Torah. Y'all are daughters of Sarah. Abraham was doing all kind of stuff, and Sarah just moved with it. A lot of y'all wouldn't have been able to be no Abraham wife. A lot of y'all wouldn't have been able. Y'all be saying y'all daughters of Sarah. A lot of y'all wouldn't have been able to be no Abraham wife. As soon as Abraham was talking about, man, I'm finna go to Egypt. Look, they gonna try to take me out for you, so I need you to just tell them you my sister. A lot of y'all wanna be like, huh? I ain't trying. What you talking about? Look, just tell them you my sister. You know what I'm saying? And cause we finna come over there, and they'll take me out and take you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all would have been like, oh, well, what? I mean, they'll end up taking me anyway. No, you know what? I'm not going. I'm not going. I don't want to go. Did you pray on it? I'm not feeling this. It would have been a whole issue. You know what Sarah did? She submitted because that was Adonai to her. That was her husband. Submission is really about trusting Yahuwah. You know what happened? They went down there to Egypt and they snatched her up. Because she said, oh, that's my sister. That's my brother right there. Oh, for real? Oh, yeah, come on over here with us. Snatched her up. She could have been all kind of bitter and all kind of, I knew this was a terrible idea. I knew it. This is terrible. But you know what Sarah did? She was so submissive that she just trusted Yahuwah. And I can almost guarantee this. I know the scriptures don't say this, but this is why I could almost guarantee this is what happened. She went and she was praying because all of a sudden Yahuwah started visiting the Egyptians. They started visiting the Egyptians on her behalf. I think the Most High was at Pharaoh when the Most High was like, yeah, you better let her go, I'm going to kill you. He's like, man, I didn't even know you. I didn't know. I thought. I'm like, yeah, well, that's why I'm giving you a chance. That's what I'm telling you right now. So go and let her go, or, you know, it's going to be on and popping in this place. It ain't going to be no more Egypt. Y'all better let her go. I know she was praying. She was praying. I'm telling you. I know that from experience. And so he hurried up and was like, man, okay, look, y'all just go. Y'all get out of here, man, for real. Abraham like, okay, you know what? And here's all these possessions too. Here, take it. Just go it. Take whatever you want. Just get out. And they came out with great possessions. But this is the part we don't look at. That all that, do you know none of that wouldn't have happened if he didn't have a submitted Esau. That's the power of submission, Mishpaka. That's the power of yielding your control to the people that Yahuwah has set up over you and trusting Yahuwah. It's totally yielding yourself to Yahuwah and whatever his will is. It ain't no mention that Sarah complained. It ain't no mention that she murmured. None of that. Submitted, y'all. Y'all know Sarah was beautiful. She could have been like, I don't need this. I could go back. I could get somebody else. I don't need this. No, she moved however Abraham was moving. She rode with it. Yeah, y'all know the scriptures. There were times where even the Most High had visited Abraham on behalf of Sarah. That's the power of submission. But see, this is the order of things. So, Akeem, we are not exempt. Akeem, we are supposed to submit to. We are supposed to submit to the leaders and the heads that Yahuwah sets up over us. We are supposed to submit to Yahusha. And as we do that, our Ishas are supposed to submit to us. See, a big aspect that we don't look at is that Abraham was submitted. Super submitted to the Most High. We know that because Yahuwah said, I want you to move. And you know what he did? He got up and moved. The Most High said, I need you to offer up your son. You know what he did? He got up and offered up his son. Submitted, y'all. True submission. When he went and he had the spoils of war, what did he do? He went and tithed it to the priesthood there, which was Melchizedek. He was submitted to that. He was submitted to a priesthood. He was submitted to an order, y'all. He was. If he wasn't, then he wouldn't have been going and tithing to them. I'm telling you. He had leadership. There was an order that the Most High connected him with. That's why Melchizedek came up like that on the scene. Akeem, are y'all complaining about your Ishas not being submissive enough? One thing that you want to look at is how submitted are you to your heads? How submitted are you to Yahusha? And you always want to look at yourself first if you feel like, man, my wife, she just don't submit. She just don't submit, man. How are you moving? She may be reflecting you, or maybe the way the Most High is showing how are you doing with him. Cause what we are quick to do, our king, boy, look, we'll be quick to point the finger at our Isha without looking at ourselves. We'll do that quick, boy. We'll be moving in all kind of subtle rebellion, doing all kind of stuff, and then mad at our Isha because they not submitting. And it may be because some ways that you moving with Yahuwah ain't through them. You don't get away with nothing in this world, man. You think just because I don't see it that Yahuwah don't see it? Yeah, I don't know what's going on in your heart. I don't know what's going on in your mind, but Yahuwah does. And a lot of times what will happen is that it'll start coming out from your it'll come out through your Isha or through something else. All right, let's go to Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5, and then we're going to start with verse 22.
Everybody there? Wives, submit to your own husbands as to
Ephesians 5, verse 22.
Okay. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to Yahuwah.
Or as to Adonai.
Adonai.
Now, what is this saying? This is saying, wives, submit to your husbands as to Adonai. As to Yahusha. So I submit what another way to look at this is, wives, submit to your husbands like you would submit to Yahusha. Yeah. Akio, we were talking about this yesterday. How are you going to submit to Yahusha if you don't even submit to your husband, the person he set up over you to lead you? It don't work like that. You can't be like, I'm submitted to Yahuwah and Yahusha. I'm submitted to Yahusha, but you don't submit to your husband. It don't work like that, Mishpachim. No, the way that you move with your husband is gonna almost always reflect with the way you move with the Most High. Yeah. Don't get it twisted to think you can be rebellious to your husband, but then you're gonna be, but you'll be all the way submitted to Yahusha. It don't work like that, and it's the same thing when it comes to the leadership. When it comes to us, you can't be all rebellious with the leaders Yahuwah has set up to lead, but you submitted to Yahusha. It don't work like that. That's out of order. No, a lot of times the way you move with your leaders is reflecting how you're moving with Yahuwah. That's just the reality. You're rebellious with your leadership because you really moving in all kind of rebellion with Yahuwah. That's how it always is, y'all. It never fails. You have an ought with your leaders because in your heart there's some ought you have with Yahuwah. That's how it works, y'all. And it works backwards though. It's the same way, vice versa as well. Like you have an issue with the Most High because maybe something happened in your past and you don't understand why that happened. You feel like it shouldn't have happened to you, and so you always had this art with the Most High, and it reflects on how you move with your leaders. Sometimes it takes us years to figure that out. Like, oh snap, that's why you be acting like that. You still haven't even cleared with yourself with the Most High. We don't have that no more though. All praise to the Most High. I don't think so. Not that I know of, at least. But man, we had people in the tribe at one point in time. They had odds with the Most High, for real. Yeah, I never understood that. You talking about you disappointed with the Most High? Oh, you really Babylonian. That's a real democratic mindset right there. Because the Most High shouldn't have done that. He should, man. What do you? Man, let me get far away from you.
Yeah, I don't want to get struck down.
Like for real. So ain't no way you finna be just submitted to anything with the leaders got going on. If that's how you feel about Yahuwah, yeah, you ain't gonna make it here. That's gonna be an issue forever. And you sure ain't gonna submit to no husband. Oh man, that ain't gonna happen. Y'all see how this works? Yeah, go ahead, yo.
So I know it works the other way too, like with husbands and Esau, and I tell them myself. So man, I used to hate when Hadassah corrected me. I used to hate it, boy. And then Mushaw actually brought out how the Ezer is a tool that chisels, basically it's like chiseling of the Rosh. It's like this tool where, if you imagine your Ish or a Ish as a sculpture, the job of the Ezer is to chisel it, make sure that it's fine-tuned. Or you can even compare it like a mechanic. If your Ish is a car, the job of an Ezer is to tune it up, make sure it's running right. But what I found, Mushar, was that I really just didn't like when Yahuwah corrected me either. I did not. I didn't like when Yahuwah corrected me. When I was in prayer and Yahuwah would say something, he'd be like, hey, you did this wrong. You don't even got to be, you did this wrong. Because this is how I was with Hadassah as well. Hey, you could have done that better. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, every time I pray, I'm not. And then I'd be skipping prayer times. Well, this is before prayer times. I shouldn't say that. But, before, this a while ago when Yahuwah gave me that understanding. But I see the connection that you're making, because I ain't like hearing Yahuwah chisel me and correct me. And I could stand when my Isha did it. And that gave it that mindset that you talked about on the call. Like, man, when you submit, you're not supposed to say nothing. Just do what I told you to do. Don't be telling me nothing. But that's not even how Sarah was with Abraham. Sarah was like, hey, she got to go. And Abraham was like, And you would say, hey, listen to your Isha. So I think it works both ways.
Man, Khan. That's powerful. So, listen, submission is it's like everything, Mishpaga. It's like everything. It was the key to all of Yahuwah's strongest leaders. Like Abraham was super submissive. When the scriptures say that Moshe was more humble than all the people on the earth, y'all listen. These are the people that Yahuwah raises up to lead movements. His biggest movements. People who are submitted, fully submitted. That's why Moshe was able to do what he did, even though did Moshe want to go out there and when he was already comfortable and go back to Egypt? He ain't want to do that, but you know what? He was submitted. Put his life on the line when it came to keeping the commandments of Yahuwah. He put his life on the line. He left his children, he left his family and went back to Mitzrayim, a place where the people was out for his life at one point in time. And was leading the people he knew were going to be rebellious, but he did it anyway because Yahuwah told him to. He submitted. He dealt with all the lashing out. He dealt with all of that because Yahuwah told him to. Yahushua HaMashiach. What did he say? Hey, I'm here to do, I only do what my father tells me to do. That's what he said, Yahushua. I'm only here to do the will of my father. He like, man, that's it. I mean, submitted, y'all. Submitted to the point of death. That's how submitted he was. Just like Isaac. Yitzhak was super submitted son, right? Because he was going to let him offer his dad, offer him up. Hey, well, this is what the Most High want. Maybe so. You know, Abraham probably had to talk with him. Look, the Most High visited me and said, well, this is what he wants. You know what I'm saying? That's how submitted he was, though. Maybe so. Then you got Yahushua HaMashiach, submitted. He's like, I'm only here to do the will of the Father. He did. And this is how it is. This is submission. Even when he knew it was about time for him to get crucified, what did he say? He went in his prayer time and he said, Most High, if there's anything any other way, man, can we do that? But nevertheless, let your will be done. But if there's any other way, you know what I'm saying? And there wasn't no other way. So he submitted to it. Because we got to understand how to move in submission. It's okay to ask, but still had to understand it. But I'm gonna do whatever we need to do, though. Because sometimes it be this thing where I just don't know how to move. I just want to, because is that rebellion if people be asking, is that rebellious if I ask this? If I ask, Yahushua was super submitted. He said, Most High, if there's any other way, can we do it the other way? But nevertheless, let your will be done. See, there's a way to do everything. It's all about the intentions of the heart. But me and were talking about last night. The intentions of the heart. The intentions of the heart. Behind everything is everything. If you're asking a question, because man, look, I be getting questions. But the intentions be, I don't agree with what you're doing. I don't like it. So that's what the intentions behind the question is. So I might not even respond. I get questions online and stuff. And I got a question. So how come y'all got them females talking like that on there, on y'all YouTube? How come the females be talking? There's a lot of females be talking. Delete. That's not coming from a genuine place. You try to come at us. You tell your son to do something, and then he comes with some question, and you know that the question is really coming from the intention that I don't want to do what you said. You ever heard the question, why? Hey, I need you to go do this. Why? What you mean, why? Just do it. Oh, But I was just asking a question, but I was just, nah, you wasn't just asking no question because the intentions behind the why was you ain't want to do it. It was rebellion. That was the intentions behind the why. See what I'm saying? So yeah, no, that's gonna be offensive if you do a why when I say you to do something, because I know what the intentions behind the why is. You get what I'm saying? That's what y'all got to look at. You want to be pure, chaste, pure in heart. That's how, because it be this thing where sometimes we overthink this thing of how to move in submission and how we move the right way in the eyes of the Most High. What are your intentions? It's not about saying the magic words. It's just about being pure in your intentions, being pure in heart, and then you're gonna say you'll be through. You'll say the right things. You'll ask the right questions as long as your intentions are through. You get what I'm saying? All right, let's go to Bereshit 32. Let's look at the Torah portion.
When you were saying that those who the Most High have put in place to rule were submissive, it made me think about where it says the meek shall inherit the earth.
Oh, man.
And that word right there is a knob. So
That's it. Man, that's it. Yeah, that's a huge point. Yahusha said that. He said, blessed are the humble. He said, the meek shall inherit the earth. What did it say? Blessed are the humble in spirit, for theirs is the... Yeah, he said, for theirs is the kingdom. Y'all got to understand this, y'all.
So, submission is synonymous with being humble. Listen, we in Babylon, when we think somebody's humble, we think the person that's quiet and shy, that means they're humble. No, the biblical version of humble means you submitted, that you keep the commandments, that you obedient, y'all. That's what humble means. It's synonymous with being submitted. What's the number for being submitted? 10. That's why I submit. You have 10 fingers. It makes your 2 hands. It means that you are moving in obedience with your actions. That's why you have 10 toes. Because it means you're moving in obedience with your walk. You get what I'm saying? You're moving in obedience with your walk and with your actions. With your hands. You are submitted. What's this letter? Hey. What's the number for hey? Ain't it 5? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. That's number 5, though. You see what I'm saying?
Yod is 10.
Oh, man. See? Y'all helping me out with this revelation. Y'all helping me walk this thing out. So think about it. Yod is hand. In Hebrew, the Hebrew word for hand is yad. If you look up the Hebrew word for hand, it is yad. So Yod is the hand, and that's number 10. The hay, y'all know the hay. If somebody holding 2 hands up, that's 5. Yeah, that's powerful to me. You know why? Because Yod Hey is the word for Yahuwah, Yah. Man. It's the meek that shall inherit the earth. The people of Yahuwah are submitted, y'all. This is crazy. A whole lot. The people of Yahuwah will inherit the earth. The people of Yahuwah are submitted, y'all. Rebels, what that means is that rebels will not inherit the earth. All right, so submitted is synonymous with being humble. Rebellious is synonymous with being not humble. I don't know. What's the opposite of being not humble? Prideful. Thank you. Toda. Rebellious is synonymous with being prideful, Miss Parker. Pride and rebellion go hand in hand. The root of all rebellion, mishpaka, is pride. The root of submission is humble and humility, or meekness and humility. We got to understand these things. Being quiet and silent does not mean that you are being submitted and being humble. Actually, you can be quiet and silent and be as rebellious as all get out. Be quiet and shy, and you're not receiving no words. You're not doing any of the things that your heads are saying that we need to be doing. You know, you're moving in all kind of secret, subtle, different things that's contrary to what Yahuwah's been showing you, to what your leader's been showing you, so on and so forth. It does not mean you humble just because you are shy and quiet. Moshe wasn't shy and quiet, Miss Barker. Abraham wasn't either. And that's the same thing with our wives. Our wives being shy and quiet does not mean that they are submissive. It does not mean that. We be having this thing because, oh man, Ox so-and-so, man, he got a submissive wife. You be arguing with your wife. Look at Ox so-and-so. His wife is super submissive. How come you can't be more like that? be off the chain at the crib. Off the chain. Nah, Sarah was strong. She was strong, Miss Pogum. And what we need y'all to do is to really self-introspect. Are y'all really submitted? Your level of submission, because the Most High he is testing you on your submission. Oh man, he is. He's testing everybody. He's going to test you on your submission, especially the Akio, but the Akim as well. But especially the Akio, especially. Because the Akim been tested a lot on that. We got hit hard with that. It's really it's going to be big on the Akio especially. Because it's a different level. There's levels to this thing too now. There's levels to this thing. And there's a higher level of submission that's required of you. You really think the Most High is going to give you to one of his sons, but you still got pride in your heart. You still got a lot of rebellion left. It's not all the way out. It ain't going to happen, because you'll go in that situation with that son and you'll be causing all kind of issues with him. We don't know the end from the beginning, but Yahuwah does. All right, let's go to our portion. We're going to start with verse 1, Bereshit chapter 32.
Yes, sir. Everyone there? So Jacob went on his way, and the Malaks of Beulah met
The
him.
Malachim. Start at verse 1 over again.
So Jacob went on his way, and the Malachim of Beulah met him.
Who met him? Say it again, Bakir.
Malachim of Beulah met him.
Who?
Malachim of Beulah.
Hallelujah. So Yaakov went on his way, and then there's this company of Malachim that met him. Y'all listen. I submit this is the Kodesh order of people that he was submitted to. Y'all listen. Yeah. They're probably from the order of Melchizedek. These aren't just celestial beings. These are, I submit to y'all, these are messengers of Elua. These are Malachim, a company of this is like an assembly. You get what I'm saying? Of people who are of the orders of the Shamayim. Probably from the order of Melchizedek. Probably from the same order that Abraham was dealing with. This is the first thing that happened when he went on this journey. That these Malachim of Elua met him. These are celestial and terrestrial beings. I guess that's the best way to word it. So you had the physical representation of the Malachim, which was the assembly, but I'm sure there was a celestial aspect of this too, who were their eternal selves. You see what I'm saying? All right, keep going.
Verse 2, when Jacob saw them, he said, this is Elua's camp.
There you go, camp. Man, this is one of Elua's camps. Man, it's one of Elua's tribes. Keep going.
And he called the name of that place Mahanaim.
All right, so that's Mahanaim. That is two camps. That's what that means. Keep going, verse 3.
Then Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau, his brother, in the land of Seir, the country of Edom.
Okay, so then it says that word messenger, so they just changed it, but that's the same word probably. It's probably angels, Malachim. So these are probably people from the assembly. There's probably people from the assembly that he submitted to. They probably like, hey, yeah, that's messed up with your twin. It probably was a couple, because, man, this is a kingdom, man, this was an order of Nabiim. These are messengers. Man, probably a couple of Akim woke up. Hey, Yaakov, you through? Yeah, I'm through. Well, man, I just got a visitation from the Most High. He want me to go out there and meet up with your brother you was worried about. So me and I don't know, Shimshon by Yehuda, Ben Yehuda, man, we gonna go down there, man. Is that through with you? He like, yeah. He like, all right. Hey, Yaakov sent these messengers to go before Esau. So you got the Kodesh people, man. They went in there to look out for Yaakov, to look out for Yaakov. Like, man, you know, we gonna meet with Esau because we don't know what'll happen if Yaakov just go out there. We gonna meet with him. Esau, what's happening? Hey, what's happening, man? What happening? What? Ah, yeah. All right. He come back. Hey, look. Esau, he coming this way. He already knew we was over here. I don't know how, but he got 400 with him. He got 400 people with him. So Yaakov was like, how many? Man, he got 400 people with him. He like, oh snap. He was afraid because, see, this the thing. Esau, he wasn't no slouch. The scriptures say he was a mighty or a skillful hunter. You remember we talked about that. So he is someone with dominion. The 400 is the Tav. Pretty sure. Number 400, ain't that the Tav? Somebody confirm that for me when you get a second. Khan? Hallelujah, Todah. Yeah, Tav is the number 400. It's covenant. And that 400, we already know that's about coming out of captivity, like the 400-year prophecy. See what I'm saying? That's about being, that 400-year, that Tav, that 400 is also about being freed. It's about the end of being freed from Esau. It's about the end of the dominion of Esau. It's about being freed from Esau, so on and so forth. And about Yaakov having the dominion. Esau is the end of the world, and Yaakov is the beginning that follow it. So that 400 years surrounds around all that. The end of a world and the start of a new world. New dominions. See what I'm saying? When the Most High said, I'm making a new heaven and a new earth, I submit that's about dominion, new dominion. It don't mean like that the heaven's gonna change to something different. You know, like the sky's gonna be green now. You know, it's a new heaven. But no, it's gonna be new people that's gonna have dominion over the heavens and the earth. Who are setting up to have dominion over the heavens and the earth. You get what I'm saying? New dominion, new heaven and a new earth. It's going to be new dominion on the earth. These seats are being thrown down. These principalities that had this dominion over these regions, these seats are being taken down and it's being set up to some Yahuwah's people to have that dominion. It's a new earth. Yeah. It goes back to what Malek has been talking about for some years now, since the covenant, being governors of Yahuwah's kavod, being governors of his kavod. That's basically about having dominion on the arets and the heavens. Being governors, having dominion, mushar, like governor, rule over the heavens and the earth. Because the scriptures say that the heavens declare his kavod, and it says that the earth is filled with his kavod. So being governors of his kavod is about having dominion over the heaven and the earth. Dominion in the heavens and the earth. Kingdom, in other words, kingdom. All right, keep going.
Okay, verse 4. And he commanded them, saying, Speak thus to my Adon Esau. Thus your servant Jacob says.
Wait. Speak thus to who?
That's to my Adon Esau.
Man, he called him Adonai Esau? This is proving what I'm talking about. Yeah. This is also proving that this is about being freed from Esau, being the master. Being freed from Babylon. That 400, that Tav. Because right now, Esau's Adonai. That's why he was calling Esau Adonai. Just like in this world right now, it's Esau that runs the world. It's Edom that runs the world. Listen when I tell you this, Esau rules the world. Oh man, when you're talking about like the richest people in the world, when you're talking about that top 0.1%, they are descendants of Esau. You talking about those Ish people up there? Multi-super billionaires, a lot of them, and I submit the majority of them, are descendants of Esau. People who own the banks, the economic system, the people who runs all that stuff, descendants of Esau. So Yaakov is talking like is speaking as someone who is submitted and who is under the rulership of Esau, y'all. He just got freed from Laban, and now he's moving like he's like Esau's Adonai. All right, keep reading. All right.
Speak thus to my Adonai Esau. Thus your servant Jacob says, I have dwelt with Laban and stayed there until now. I have oxen, donkeys, flocks, and male and female servants, and have sent to tell my Adonai that I may find favor in your sight. Then the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, we came to your brother Esau, and he also is coming to meet you, and 400 men are with him. So Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that were with him in the flocks, in the herds and camels, into 2 companies. And he said, if Esau comes to the one company, and attacks it, then the other company which is left will escape. Then Jacob said, O allure of my father Abraham and allure of my father Isaac. I'm sorry. Yahuwah who said to me, return to your country and to your family, and I will deal well with you. I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and of all the truth which you have shown your servant. For I crossed over this Jordan with my staff, and now I have become 2 companies.
So you see here, he said he had crossed over this Jordan with his staff. That's all he had. Remember we talked about that last week? He didn't have nothing when he went up there. When he went up there to Laban, he says all he had was his staff, y'all. And now he has become a company of people, 2 companies, 2 houses. 2 houses, just like the northern southern kingdom. It's interesting for real. Because it was 2 houses that were established with his 2 wives. It's his wives, their handmaidens, and then the other wife and their handmaidens. You see what I'm saying? Yes, sir. And on top of that, he had great possessions now, because Yahuwah blessed him. So you know what he's with? He has all the spotted and speckled with him, boy. Mm-hmm. He's deep. He got the 2 houses with all the spotted and speckled. Keep going. Verse 11.
Deliver me, I pray, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him, lest he come and attack me and the mother with the children. For you said,
That's submission, man. Verse 12.
For you said, I will surely treat you well and make your descendants as the sand of the sea.
As the what?
As the sand of the sea.
That goes back to that vision Shishon had with the sandman.
Which cannot be numbered for a multitude. So he logged there that same night and took what came to his hand as a present for Esau his brother.
As a what?
As a present for Esau his brother.
Is that mincha? Let me see. What's that word for present? Is that mincha? Toda. So that word is mincha. I thought it was, and that's an offering. That's like a sacrifice. That's sacrificial language. Mincha is like a gift that you give to the Most High. Usually that's the context. It's a gift that you give to the Most High, like an offering, a sacrifice, things like that. You get what I'm saying? So that's interesting that this is the language used as far as what's being given to Esau. Keep going.
Verse 14, 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, 30 milk camels and their coats, 40 cows and 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 foals. Then he delivered them to the land of his servants, every drove by itself, and said to his servants, pass over before me and put some distance between successive droves. And he commanded the first one, saying, when Esau my brother meets you and asks you, saying, to whom do you belong, and where are you going? Whose are these in front of you? Then you shall say, they are your servant Jacob's. It is a present sent to my Adonai Esau, and behold, he also is behind us. So he commanded the second, the third, and all who followed the drove, saying, in this manner you shall speak to Esau when you find him, and also say, behold, your servant Jacob is behind us.
Listen, y'all, this is true submission. Because, see, Esau had the dominion. Esau had the dominion. Think about it, y'all. Yaakov could have been like, man, look, I got great possessions. I think my people can handle them. For real, I think my people can handle them, man. My sons is grown. Man, you know, we can do like a Hanukkah type thing. But me and my sons, man, and we get the our king together, we can probably handle them. We'll just go in. He went through there all the way humble. And was giving him a mincha. And you know, this happened after he prayed, right? Y'all remember he was just praying to the Most High, and then after that, this was this plan he had. So when you see that, it was probably what he got in prayer. Remember, he asked the Most High to deliver him from this situation. Please, Most High, remember, you know, you had promised me and said that I would make it back and all these things like that. And then after that, that's when he had this great plan. Probably the Most High gave that to him. Remember the vow that he made? Because that's what he was reminding the Most High of in the prayer. The vow that he made was that, Most High, I'll give you 1/10 of everything. If you bless me to where I have everything I need, food on the table and all these things like that, I'll tithe everything. Y'all remember that? And he's making it, and he's reminding the Most High of these promises and things like that. And then right after that, he's giving Esau all these possessions. And it's called a mincha, which is usually a word used as an offering to the Most High. Y'all following this? Could this be like part of the tithe that he needs to get to the Most High? Because the Most High might have been like, yeah, I need you to make it right with Esau because, you know, it's my will. It was my will for you to get the birthright, but at the same time, you did do him wrong by how you did him, though. Why is he giving him a mincha? That's like an offering. Maybe that was some retribution for taking his birthright, Mishpaka, for real. Restitution. Yeah, that's the way of the Most High. Is when you do your brother wrong, don't you got to make it right with him first? The Most High is probably like, okay, now it's time you got to go make it right with him, and I got you. You just got to go make it right with him, though. I want you to give him all this possession. I want you to give him all this stuff. This is how you know it's had to be it, because Esau didn't even want it. He didn't even need it. He was already through. And y'all remember how Yaakov responded? No, please take it. No, you have to take this. That's how you know, nah, this is something Yahuwah had him do. Like, nah, this is something he must have got in prayer in order to make it right, because it wasn't all the way through the way Yaakov did him. It's just reality. It be like that sometimes. Some of y'all went through that in y'all walk, in this walk. The Most High will deal with you about a situation, yeah, you mine, and I'm not with that other person, but the way you did the other person was wrong. I still need you to make it right with that person in order for you to get to that next level with me and our relationship. That happens. Need you to go on, and yeah, when you did that, you had, and I think this was about 20 years now later. That happens, right? Man, 20 years ago, you had did this dude like this. I want you to go back and make it right with him. In order for you to make it to this next level with me, I need you to go and make that right with that person from 20 years ago. And you'll go to that person, and he'll be like, man, nah, man, I'm through. Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago, man. I don't. And you just got to take this, fam. No, you gotta repent to somebody from 20 years ago. They be like, it's stupid. I mean, that was 20 years ago. No, I gotta say this. No, because you in your mind, no, you will say I need to do this, and I'm trying to get this clear. I need to say this. I'm really sorry. That's how Esau was. He like, man, I'm through, man. Look at all this I got. I'm rich. No, just take it. No, please take it. And Esau, I think he could tell. That's why he's like, all right, man. I'll take it. Let's keep going.
Behold, your servant Jacob is behind us, for he said, I will appease
what verse?
him. 20, verse 20 again. I was trying to hit. Okay.
No, that's perfect. Verse 20, let's go.
And also say, behold, your servant Jacob is behind us, for he said, I will appease him.
All right.
With the present that
I will
goes
what?
before me. Appease.
Y'all, that word appease is kafar, mishpacha. This is what I'm saying. That's how you know this is more to this. Kafar, I believe, is 300, ain't it? The kaf is 20. What is pay? 200? Somebody give me what's the number for pay. I'm pretty sure kafar is 300. That's 300. Yeah, that's 300. Kaf pay rest. So kapar is 300. Kapar is the word for Yom Kippur. That word is 300. Y'all understand the significance of 300? The number 300 is the sheen. The sheen, the press, the crush. To consume with fire, the sheen, it's a warfare number. That's why Yom Kippur is associated with warfare. It's associated with the judgment on the nations. Go ahead.
So when you said that it's the number 300, I literally just thought of, like the 300. And you said it's a warfare number. So the scene that I saw in my mind was when they all had their shields up and the arrows were coming down.
Man.
And so they were all covered.
Oh, snap.
Right? But they were men of war. But the number 300,
Man.
yeah. So I thought about that, the 300 in the movie.
Gideon, it was 300. 300. They were covered. So being covered, the ark had to be kafar with pitch, inside and out. That's warfare. That's 300. You know why it had to be kafar? To keep the water out of it, because the Most High was going to destroy everything with the water. It was warfare. It's about crushing and subduing. And it's about division as well. Because remember, the sheen is the teeth. Divide in two. Or being set apart, being covered is being set apart. So the Kodesh are covered, and those who are not covered are judged, are destroyed. That's the concept of the ark too. That's why the word Kippur was used when it came to building the ark. They had to be Kippur, inside and outside with pitch. And everything outside got destroyed. Let's keep going.
I will appease him with the present that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So the present went on over before him, but he himself lodged that night in the camp.
So it's really interesting because Jacob is saying that this is going to cover Esau by these gifts. Like it is not saying the word appease. And y'all remember the breakdown for Kippur? Not leadership. Oh man, come on. Somebody got to know that one. The Hebrew breakdown for Kippur. Kafar.
Receiving the words from the head.
Say the whole thing at once.
Receiving the words from the head.
Y'all got it? It's about submission. Yeah. Yeah. It's about receiving the kaf, the hand, receiving the pay, which is a word from the rosh, the head, the chief, kapar. Those who can receive a word from the chief, those are the ones who are covered. Those are the ones in the ark. Those are the ones that are submitted. Those are the ones that are humble. That's why Yom Kippur is on what day of the month? That's why Yom Kippur is on the 10th day of the month. Man, y'all don't be knowing this stuff, man. Yom Kippur is on the 10th day of the 7th month. That's the number for submission. That's the only feast day that is on the 10th day is Yom Kippur. Y'all know there ain't no other feast day out of the 7 feasts that on the 10th day? There's no other feast that falls on the 10th day, Mishpachah. It's only Yom Kippur. The feast that's about receiving a word, that's about being covered, that's about submission, being submitted. Y'all following this? Okay, what day is Yom Kippur fall on? Okay, hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 22. And he arose that night and took his 2 wives.
Start over with verse 20 and go down.
Verse 20. Okay. And also say, behold, your servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will appease him with the present that goes before me, and afterward I shall see his face. Perhaps he will accept me. So the present went on over before him, but he himself lodged that night in the camp.
All right. So he lodged that night. He chilled in the camp. He stayed with the assembly. He was there with the camp of Malachim. That's where he stayed at. Let's keep going.
And he arose that night and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed over the ford of Jabbok.
So that's different. That's interesting because, so now he left the assembly. He left the company of Malachim. He took his wives, and he went on and moved and crossed the water. And it's interesting that word Jabbok because it's Yabak, which is if you just flip the letters around, it literally almost says Yaakov. I know it's pretty interesting. Just the iron ain't there, but keep going.
Verse 23. He took them, sent them over the brook, and sent over what he had. Then Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day.
Man.
Now when he saw that he did not prevail against him, he touched the socket of his hip, and the socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint as he wrestled with him.
Read verse 24 again.
Verse 20. Then Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the breaking of day.
So this wrestling happened all throughout the night until the sun shined, huh? This wrestling happened all the way until the light shone. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 25. Now when he saw that he did not prevail against him, he touched the socket of his hip. And the socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go.
All right, so the person he was wrestling with ended up doing something to where now he couldn't, he touched the socket of his hip, so now his bottom half probably wasn't able to do as much as it was. So now it seems like he started using his top half the most. That's why he's telling him to let him go after that happened. Like, let me go. So he probably like, okay, all right, I'm gonna just hold on then, because I can't wrestle him no more, man. My legs is something going on with my legs. So now he's holding on with all his might. And what did the Malak say? He said what?
Let me go, for the day breaks. But he said, I will not let you go unless you bless me.
Unless you what?
Unless you bless me.
Y'all listen. This is true submission. This is true submission, Mishpaga. Yaakov, why was Yaakov adamant about this blessing? Because Yahuwah, he believed the promises of Yahuwah. Yahuwah said he was going to bless him. So he held on, he endured, y'all, he endured, and he wasn't going to let go until he received the promises of the Most High. That's submission. He was trying to endure to the end. It was so much so that the whole bottom half of the body got weakened. But he kept holding on. Okay, my arms still work. I'm going to keep holding on. His whole hip out of socket, y'all. The struggle was the struggle to receive the promises. That's the struggle. That's the wrestling match is the struggle to receive the promises. To receive the blessing. Listen, Yaakov been struggling all his life to receive the blessing, Mishpaka. It started off when his brother came, when his twin came, and was like, man, let me get some of that pot of stew. Yaakov like, all right, but give me that birthright, though. Yaakov was smart, man. Esau don't care about that birthright right there, like that. Yaakov probably for years was like, man, he got it all. He got all these things. He got the favor of Isaac. He got the birthright, and he don't even care about it. So finally, the time came where Esau was hungry. He like, man, you can have this pot of stew, man. Just give me the birthright. And it ain't like he worried about it like that anyway. He's all like, yeah, I don't care about this here. You can have that, man. Then it continued when it was time for Abba Isaac to bless his twins. And he was going to bless his favorite first. He was going to give him the inheritance. He was going to give him the birthright. He's going to give him the blessing. Because remember, we talked about it. The birthright and the blessing go hand in hand. Because the birthright, Bakar, is almost the same word as the word for blessing, Baruch. Bakar and Baruch is almost the same word, just the words switched around. Get what I'm saying? The letters, I mean. And his mama was like, man, I got this great idea. You just dress like Isaac. I'm going to cover you with goat skin. I'm going to make you be like Esau. And and I'm gonna cover you with this goat skin. You're gonna feel like Esau, because Isaac, he can't see that well. Yeah, y'all twins, he ain't, he'll just think you Isaac. He'll just think you Esau. Just make sure that when he touches you, you feel that this the goat's hair, and give him some of this goat meat. Give him a what? A mincha. Oh, snap. Yaakov been struggling for this blessing all his life, y'all. So then he probably thought, man, I'm finally gonna get the blessing. I'll pray to the Most High. I'm finally gonna get the blessing. Then his mom, then Abba Isaac and Mama Rebecca were like, nah, you got to get out of here. You got to go up there to Laban in them house. What? Submitted though, because he could have been like, well, I'm through on that. I ain't trying to go out there. Laban wild, man. Y'all know Laban crazy. Uncle Laban. Everybody know Uncle Laban crazy. I ain't trying to go out there. That's like a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 day journey. And I don't even have nothing. He didn't say, but why? He ain't do none of that, did he? Mama, all I got is this staff, though. I don't got no money or nothing. Can y'all let me hold something? Yeah, it's tight. You just gonna have to go. You just gonna have to go up there. We'll pray for you. You know what he did? He said, may it be so, and he left. He's like, I'm gonna need Yahuwah for this though. And he went over on that mountain and he prayed to the Most High, and the Most High visited him, right? He was passing these tests of submission though. See, we don't look at that part. Why did Yahuwah visit Yaakov and show him the ladder going up and down with the Malachim descending and ascending, and Yahuwah like, man, I'm gonna bless you? Because he passed the test of submission. He didn't question his parents when they said, I need you to go out there, even though you don't got nothing but a staff. He just did it because that's how submitted he was. Remember, Yaakov was Tom. Yahuwah was like, man, he passed that test. I'm gonna hook him up for real. He visited him with the Jacob's ladder after he did that. And then that's when he gave the vow, Most High, if you please just bless me with food and stuff so I can make it. I can make it to this thing. If you please. Rebecca and them they had wisdom. Yeah, you're gonna need the Most High for this. But you gotta go. You gotta go head on. But yeah, if you just pray, they probably told him, go over to this mountain over there. Because remember, Isaac was offered up on that mountain that he went to. It was the same mountain. What a visitation happened? Isaac probably told him, look, if you do this, you go that way, you go, and then you go about 2 days journey, it's this mountain. You know what I'm saying? Spend the night there. Don't just spend the night just anywhere, all out there on the regular land. No, about 2 days through, you can spend the night over there in that mountain up there. How did he know to go there? His parents probably told him. That's where Isaac was offered up at. Isaac knew that area. So in every aspect he was submitted, even the way he went on the journey. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And of course they were probably praying for him every day. Mama Ribka was probably praying for him every day, boy. You know that. And so the Most High covered him and made sure he had everything he needed, that he was through. And as soon as he made it to Laban in them house, Laban gave him a job, right? Yep. Submitted. And just think about this. So Yaakov probably was like, yes, I made it to Laban safely. I got a job. Finally, I'm going to get this blessing. Yeah. No. He worked at 7 years and Laban gave him Leah. Yeah, there you go. Leah. Because remember, that's the firstborn. You see what I'm saying? Oh, man, he ain't had nothing to say on that. Laban on Esau's side, man. Man, we wrong for that, man. So he worked another 7 years. Okay, I got Raquel. Okay, maybe now I can finally get the blessing. Nope. Worked another 6 years. No, another 7 years, another 6 years, yeah. He stayed submitted the whole time. Laban was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to change your pay, man. I know you was getting paid $20 an hour, but stuff is tight right now, man. Yeah, they're gonna take that down to 18. He didn't be like, why? Submitted. He just kept working. Laban come back the next year. Yeah, man. Hey, how's it going? Yeah. So, man, look, cause there's been a drought. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I didn't get as much crops as I did. You know, and I got to keep my wealth. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, cause if I keep you getting paid the same, instead of me being a billionaire, instead of me having 100 billion, I have like 98 billion. So I'm gonna have to, you know, lower you down to about 12 an hour. You know what I'm saying? You understand, right? Yaakov can't work. This is how I said that because that's how these companies do you. That's how they be for real. Man, be $1 billion companies, man. I worked for a $1 billion company, a Fortune 50 company. Dell was a Fortune 50. And they literally, because of some stuff with the stockholders I mean, they bring it in. See, I was part of one of their top sales teams. I knew how much, but I was a part of my department alone. No, not even my department. My accounts alone was bringing in, just for me specifically, what I was bringing in from my sales, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. That's just me. And you got like maybe a couple hundred on the floor. Yeah, the stock market, yeah, it looks like, the economy, we're gonna lay off about 800 people. Maybe not that many, about 80 people. What? Y'all ain't hurting for nothing. What you talking about? Yeah, but we'll be less rich if we keep everybody, you know, so. Oh, they'll change our wages. They'll do that quick. They would do, oh man, yeah, it's been tight because they have raised the prices on, you know, the semiconductor chips in China. So, you know, we're not going to give y'all that 4X kicker. We're going to give y'all that 2X this time. They changing the pay. That was Laban right there. That's why his name mean white. He's your typical corporation boy. I know you're the one who's the reason why I'm getting all this wealth, but I need to change your pay so I can continue. I need you to continue to build my empire. I need that, okay? The corporation's job is to pay you the least amount that they have to legally pay you in order for you to stay. They're gonna pay you the least amount they can possibly pay you. That's every company. And the way they look at it, they have to look at the competition. How much the competition paying it? They're gonna pay the least amount that they have to pay you in order for you to stay. But Yaakov stayed submitted, and he still didn't get the blessings. We're talking 20 years now. 20 years now, and now finally Yahuwah was like, all right. He done built his whole family under Laban. Laban was just a wicked leader too. But he stayed submitted anyway, didn't he? He had a wicked leader over him, and he stayed submitted anyway. And finally Yahuwah was like, all right, he passed the test. After the 10th time, the number for submission, after the 10th time that Laban changed his wages, Yahuwah was like, all right, he did it. I bet that 10th one was the hardest one too. I bet that 10th one was the biggest test. I bet that 10th one, Laban was like, man, I know you was getting paid 15. It's going to be $2 an hour for right now. Just for right now. It ain't going to be forever, just for this year. You get what I'm saying? You understand, right? I bet that was the hardest test. I bet that was the one where Laban was like, man, Most High, look, Most High, like, I told you to be here. I ain't tell you could leave. Okay, I'm submitted. You will let your will be done. And that was probably it. And Most High, okay, he passed it. All right. All right, Laban. All right, Yaakov. Go ahead, get your family, go and come out. I got you. That last test be the hardest one. That's how it be. A lot of people missed everything, missed the blessing and everything, because they failed that last test. If they just would have did that last one, they would have made it. That's what happened at the Promised Land. That's what happened in the Torah. Balak and Balaam was that last test when the Moabites came. Right on the edge of the Promised Land, Yahuwah gave them the hardest test. 24,000 didn't make it, got cut down. Laban probably like, yeah, I'm gonna give you $2, man. And he said, man, he stayed submitted. Finally, it's time to get the blessing. It's time to leave. I bet Yaakov was like, yes, now it's time to get the blessing. Now, he's free. And Yahuwah started giving him the blessing, didn't he? All right, what I need you to do, I need you to get this rod. I need you to get this staff. Remember, Yaakov said, I had left and all I had was my staff. Yahuwah literally used the staff to give him his blessing, didn't he? That's the same word. I think it's makal. When he said, all that I had was my staff when I came over here. And then what happened when it was time for him to leave, Yahuwah had him take the staff, a rod, that he took from these almond trees and different chests and different trees to put in front of the flocks while they were conceiving, and that's how he started getting his blessings, y'all. Y'all saw that? Everything came out speckled and spotted. Oh, hold on. I forgot, though. That wasn't the biggest test. I forgot. Hold on. Oh, snap. What happened right before that? The Most High probably told Yaakov about telling, I want you to go to Laban. I want you to tell him that don't worry about, I don't want no wages. Y'all listen, I forgot about that. He went to Laban and told him, I don't want no wages. I'll stay here and work for you. All I need is you to just give me all the spotted and speckled, and that'll be fine. Oh, snap. And you know what Laban did? He hurried up and took all the spotted and speckled out of the flocks and sent them the other way. So it went from changing my wages 10 times, and now it looked like he wasn't going to get nothing. No more wages, but you still had to work. Now you just straight slaving. And you know what Yaakov did? Stayed submitted. Ooh, I know that would have been the final straw for a lot of y'all, man. I know that would. A lot of people, maybe not a lot of y'all, but a lot of people, they would have been, okay, you know what? I'm through. You know what? I'm through. You know what? I wanted the blessing, but you know what? I'm through. I'm going to just, you know what? I'm going to just go back to Babylon. He didn't. He stayed submitted. That's when Yahuwah gave him the revelation about the rod. You know what? Here, get the sticks, put them before the watering troughs, and then even though there ain't no spotted and speckled for your wages, if you do this with the rod, you put them in front of the watering trough, everything that's birthed out after that is going to be spotted and speckled. That took time. How long do it take? Calm. Like, how long would it take for flocks to birth out children? He probably went months without paying. How long does it take for a sheep? I don't even know the gestation. What is it, the gestation period? I don't even know. But it probably is, how long?
147 days or 5
Oh, snap. 5 months. Man. Man. So he probably went months without pay because he had to do that whole thing Yahuwah told him to do. Probably there had to have been Yahuwah to tell him to do that. I don't know how he knew to do that. But put the rods in front of them, and then when they conceive, they'll bring out the spotted and speckled, and that'll be your wages. You know what I'm saying? And so he did it, and he was submitted, and he was patient,
And then 5 months later, everything was coming out spotted and speckled. 6 months later, everything coming out spotted and speckled, spotted and speckled, spotted and speckled. Marked for Yahuwah. And it got to the point to where that's all that was coming out, right? And then it said to the point to where, man, the Most High was transitioning the wealth that he built for Laban on over to Yaakov, wasn't it? And then he was getting the blessing. Then Yahuwah was like, all right, you can leave now. He had everything he needed. He was through. Now he left. So Yahuwah did what he said. He finally getting a blessing, y'all. I know a lot of y'all, man, look, this is, man. There's been Yahuwah had given, man, there's a lot of promises in this covenant. A lot of y'all, a lot of people left because they just wanted the promises right then. And since they had to work for it, you had to submit in order to get it. You had to pass tests. Oh, no, that's all right. Go to Babylon. Go back to Babylon. A lot of people wasn't really ready to endure, wasn't able to endure. The wrestling with the Malak was a picture of Yaakov's life, y'all. He held on. He was holding on to the promises. How was he able to endure that? And able to change in the wages for 10 times, getting deceived, working under a wicked boss for 20 years. He held on to the promises of the what? Of the covenant, y'all. His birthright. He believed Yahuwah. And because of that, he prevailed. Now it's time for him to walk in dominion. It's time now. You did it. You did it. It's time. And that's what we're going to see in this Torah portion. And the reason why he was able to accomplish this is through the process and through the power of submission. The way you're going to receive your birthright, the way you're going to receive the promises of this is through the power of submission. The Most High is not concerned with when you think you should get the blessing. He's not concerned with that. You're not going to receive it if you're not ready to receive it. And you know what? You're not the best determining person to be able to tell whether or not you are ready to receive it or not. You just not. You just got to trust Yahuwah. And trust the process. And take it day by day and pass the test. Keep going. Let's keep going. Let's wrap it up.
Verse 27 again, or going down?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yes, sir.
So I'm going to go back a little bit because I kind of had to meditate on this. But you said that Kippur is the number 300, which is the letter for the numerical value for Shin. Shin means oppressing. So Yom Kippur, it can go back to oppressing. So the pressing happens by receiving a word from the chief. That's the breakdown for Kippur that you had. So some things that Yahuwah had been talking to me about and showing me how the testing that we're going through is really about humility and meekness. It was a dream that Shoshone had, and I believe Uriel had. But there was this thing where Yahuwah was just humbling people. You know, like he was like, hey, go do this thing, go do this thing, go do this thing, and then mistake. And he was like, yeah, you messed up. And it's like, man, and I think even in Shoshone's dreams, he talked about that. I put that in the chat, though. So then you talked about how the meek and the humble are the ones that will inherit the Eretz. So I was questioning. I was like, man, you were like, why is it that being meek and humble allows you to endure the pressing? Because the pressing comes because of the covering, right? The pressing comes because of the covering. The covering, numerical value 300, letter shin, pressing. That's what you were saying. So in being covered means that you will be pressed. But the meek and the humble are the only ones that endure the pressing, because I think it was Uriah that had a dream about having to lay down flat in this season, to lay down flat on the ground. And that's the only way to endure the pressing. Because if you're prideful, you'll be crushed. You'll be crushed. That's that scripture in
I was just saying that in the dream, it was these 3 gangsters. Like they had trench coats on, but they had big guns. So you have to lay down because of how big what's trying to come and hit you is.
Cause see, I had been praying on that dream. So I was like, man, Father, like, what was that? And what that was is it's about being humble. There's these shots being fired. You have to be humble to endure. That's why I told y'all how I had to move on my job, how you was like, be humble. Radha talked about how he had to move at Walmart, and you told him, nah, you can't leave. You got to stay there. All of that is the same thing. So my mind is really, really going on this. So the prideful remain standing in their crush, but the humble, they fall on a rock and are broken. And it's like this willingness to be broken. And I think that's the challenge with being humble, is because when you, especially being meek, you were showing me this a few weeks ago, but the challenge with being meek is you do lose control. And you said that earlier. Hold on, I was on my notes today, so I got you. You said submission is yielding your control. Submission is yielding your control. And I think that's the thing that can be terrifying to people. To be meek and to submit your control, to say, I'm going to trust this person that you put ahead of me, Yahuwah, because that's who you established. That's who you ordained. That's who you anointed to do this. And Malek say this all the time. He's like, I just lost it. He said, you either called to lead or called to follow, or something like that, he says. I can't. Yeah, if you ain't leading, then I don't see you up here, referring to himself. Follow the ones that sent. So all of this is starting to make a lot of sense. But the thing with being meek, it's about giving up that control. That was a huge statement you made there. Being able to yield control, that'll help you in your marriage. If you're a child, that'll help you as a ben or a bot, is to yield your control to your parents. The Isha's ability to lead, to yield her control to her Ish, and to say, I don't think this is the best way to go, but I'm going to go anyway because I'm trusting who Yahuwah has put in head of me. Now, please don't take that to them extreme examples, y'all. Just stay, let's stay regular. And the same thing with the Ish, like you said earlier, all of this is, I'm just stringing all this together in my mind. So even with the Ish, you talked about having to trust. I mean, we've had to trust, and I guess I say me, I've had to trust the job. Like, what job do I want to go to? Yahuwah didn't ask me. He said, go ask Mushal. Man, Mushal, should I take this interview? I was like, oh, man, Yahuwah, should I take this interview? He said, go ask Mushal. I was like, man, Yahuwah, man, the interview went well. Should I take the job? Go ask Mushal. So there's this level of submission there, but that's the covering. And that's where my mind is stuck right now. I'm trying to, I'm going in circles with this because I didn't realize, but to be covered is to be pressed by the word of the chief. The pressing is a part of the covering.
Yeah, because the pressing is the setting apart. That's how you become set apart. Everybody say, Kodesh, I'm set apart. It's what we saw in the, what several of y'all saw in the, I think it was a lot of the singers, is the threshing floor, the threshing. In order for the chaff to be blown away, there has to be like a threshing, a pressing, in a sense. So, yeah.
So, and even with that, you had some love? Okay. So even with that, in order to be bought into the barn house, you had to be pressed. That's exactly what you just said, because it's the wheat is gathered in, then it is pressed, and whatever can't be pressed, it either if it's too small to be pressed, then it goes through the floor. But if it clings on to what it's supposed to go out, then it gets blown by the wind. So the only way to even come into the barn, the Father's house, is through the pressing, and then that's where the cover. That's the code. It's making sense. I'm gonna pass the mic. My mind going.
Hallelujah. Yeah, my mind's going too. We actually, speaking of pressing, just this week we talked about that with the women on the women's call. But we talked about the process of making oil from olives. And that within that process, the olives, after they're picked off the tree, they have to be crushed before they could be pressed. You can't just take an olive and just get some oil, just press it and you have oil. It had to be crushed. It goes through this whole process of crushing and then pressing in order to produce the oil. But somebody mentioned something about being set apart or being Kodesh. What was that you said about being Kodesh, Mushal?
Because the sheen is also means to divide or to set apart.
Khan.
So, yeah.
Khan. And so when the olives are pressed for the olive oil, the oil itself, the last part of the process we're going to talk about this week speaks to that, but even in that, the oil is used for it's used for that. It's used for setting things apart, for anointing things and setting them apart. And so that's just a piece of it, but it's a lot in the process of making olive oil that points to submission and how that's related to a crushing and a pressing, and in the end being Kodesh and set apart and anointed. And so it's real deep.
Oh, snap. Now my mind's moving now. Because the pressing is the sheen, right? The sheen also means fire or lampstand, like the menorah. What is the menorah filled with? Man, that's wild.
Oh, okay. So this is another thing we talked about. So the oil, the olives go through 3 cycles of pressing, right? So it's pressed, and then that's used to take to the temple, and then it's pressed again, and that's used to create like different items and like cosmetics and stuff like that. And then it's pressed again, and that third and last time is what's used for the lamps, for the oil. So it goes through like all these different processes of pressing. But that last one where you like, man, do I have any more oil left here? That one is used to light the lamps, which, give the light through the darkness and all that great stuff.
All praise to the Most High. All praise to Yahuwah.
Well, now Yahuwah got something.
Oh, no, go on and put it in the thing. We're going to get to that, yeah. Going to put it in the thing.
Rebirth of a nation. Hebrew kingdom building.